Hey everyone, Tayland here with another tea video. Welcome back. We are continuing with the One River Tea Raw Pu'ers from 2025 spring. This is from the Yunnan flight, so you can get them all in that flight on One River Tea for one price. If I recall correctly, it was like 20 bucks or something. I probably don't recall correctly. Oh, what do you know? It is indeed 20 bucks. So raw pour flight, that's where I'm getting all these. You basically just get a Dragon Ball of each, and then a Mithril tea coin, white tea. It's 7 teas total for 20 bucks. But starting with, this is the second one. I'm just going cheapest to most expensive. So this is second cheapest, I guess. 195 for one, as they call it, an orb or a Dragon Ball. Yeah, 195, and then it is 3 orbs for 585. All right, so Old Salt Raw Puer Blend, Linkang Sichuanbana Province, harvested April 2025, pressed May 2025. Their tasting notes are rock salt, petrichor, dried kelp, juniper, and rock sugar. Yeah, also feel free to skip ahead. I'm just going to read all their description off the website real quick, and then I'll get into tasting it. So I'm going to have everything timestamped below. This item is a small 7-gram single-session pressing of the larger similarly named 200-gram cake. Same material, same maker, same press date. We offer them individually or in sets of 3. If you're looking for something sweet and floral, keep walking. This tea is strong, tall grass of Sheng Puer that will put hair on your knuckles and a patch on your eye. We blended it with some real bitter stuff, some Lao Man Yi. I'm not sure what that is, Lao Man Yi. But the majority of the tea comes from Huangzhou, Liangji, and Bengdong, 2 gardens that are renowned for their rocky soil and a mineralogy, I don't know, so deep it's almost saline. All right, so this is going to be very mineral heavy. This is one for the vault, a mineral-rich tea that is all texture and tingles on the tongue. For those wanting a flowery or a fruity pu'er, try Kalisti or the Mountain Song, which Kalisti is the last one we tried, which was pretty good, as well as being the cheapest one. And these blends are real interesting, right? Because this is a blend of tea from a bunch of farms, and that's how they manage to get the flavor profile they want, but also the price they want. So for those that love the bitter brew, this is your tea. The Old Salt is all broth and mineral-rich mouthfeel, not for the delicate of spirit. In time, these mineral-rich teas become sweet as rock sugar and mountain spring water. But this is not your grandmother's jasmine tea. It is a rough and tumble mix for the stout of heart and adventurous of spirit. The dry leaves, when placed in a warmed gaiwan, smell deceptively fresh, like the wind after a gentle spring rain. But lingering behind that alluring fragrance is something darker, storm cloud on the horizon, promising a bitter storm. Wow, this is quite a wall of text here. When first brewed, the gentle floral fragrance of the leaves open up into something more yeasty, like fresh baked bread, with something much meatier in the depths. The brew have a bow wave of bitterness that quickly passes through the palate, leaving behind mineral afterthoughts and a tingling on the tongue. The brew is oily without being heavy and has notes of dried seaweed and fragrant wood. This empty cup is redolent with the honey-like sweetness typically found in empty bourbon casks. While we are excited to see how this tea tastes after it aged for a few years, we can't resist drinking and enjoying it now. This one is an homage to all the old rogues out there, a bit rough around the edges, but with a heart of solid gold. Then there's their brewing recommendations, which we won't be following because they recommend 6 grams, and one of these orbs is 7 grams. But what I am going to do is brew this slightly under boiling. And I'm going to let that wash brew a little extra to open up the tea properly. And then after that, I will do probably 5-second infusions like they suggest, because this is, from the sound of it, a bitter one. So first, I'm going to start off by opening this and doing a dry smell profile. Definitely a strong scent to it. It smells like a pu'er with a strong taste, for sure. Mostly just vegetal. I feel like I kind of get astringent notes in smell often, and this one is no exception. Here's what that T-ball artwork looks like. His face is a little folded, but it is really cool artwork. Let me just open that up real quick so we can see it better and see the leaves. All right. So here's Old Salt for you. I do like their packaging with this company too. It's pretty cool. And then more brewing instructions. So that's probably along the line, along the lines of what I'll do. The website says steep for 5 seconds and doesn't mention the rinse. But I'll probably start with that long rinse and then do short first and second steep. I am curious how it'll age. I only have this one Dragon Ball, so maybe if I like it, I'll grab some more and just throw it in with the rest of my aging tea. But, yeah. Beautiful looking raw pu'er there. And we will do that rinse. We are just under boiling. And we'll let this go for probably 30 seconds to a minute. They suggest a minute on the wrapper. I'm not sure if we'll need that long. We'll see. Alright, I'd say it's been about a minute. And then got some new clear glassware, which I'm going to be most likely using for the majority of my white teas in the future. Maybe I'll use it for some raw pours, but I mainly got it for white tea. But I got them from Bitter Leaf, and quite a decent price on them, and I've been liking them so far. I've only used them 2 or 3 times now, just personal drinking tea. But I like the feel, I like the look. It's real cool. I thought it'd catch good on camera, you know. So there's the wash. T-ball still not quite open, but we can do just a quick wet smell while we're here. Smells nice. Smells kind of sweet, surprisingly. Kind of a hay, grassy scent to it. And I'm getting kind of an astringent, I don't know, mineral scent, like rain on stone, and like a little bit of a, almost like this is just inviting bitterness. It's going to be a little bitter. But I'm going to let this probably steam in this closed gaiwan for a minute, and then we'll start that first steep. Alright, steaming it seemingly did nothing at all. This is going in right below, pretty much at boiling, frankly. It's, I think, 211 Fahrenheit, so yeah. And we'll do that for that long. Yeah, let's give it a little stir. Oh, actually, maybe steaming it did help. It seems to be all completely open now. Weird. Already got quite a bit of color to it. Beautiful golden color. Let's check out these leaves. Another smell. Yeah, smells very savory. Still a tiny touch of sweetness in there for sure, surprisingly. Leaves look pretty nice though, look very whole. For being how, surprisingly, this was not like incredibly compressed, I don't feel. It opened up a lot faster than most Dragon Balls I have, so huge plus to me. And I feel like it keeps the leaves more pristine, which I don't think is a huge deal. I like it. I like when the leaves look nice. I feel like it's a sign of quality, you know? Very green. Smells very minerally, very, tad bit of sweetness, a lot of grassiness. Kind of an astringent, like, nose biting smell to it that I kind of enjoy. It's definitely very nice. Beautiful golden color to this tea. Looks fantastic. Nice and clear. Alright, I let it cool off to tail-end drinking levels. Real interesting phenomena I always see, where it clouds up when it cools off a bit. I've been noticing that with these raw pu'ers. All right, let me give that first steep a taste. Quite nice. I wouldn't say the bitterness is high at all at this point. There is some bitterness. There is some astringency, some mouth drying. Right now, there's almost there's a decent, okay. There's some bitterness in the aftertaste for sure. That kind of sneaks up on you a little, but it's not horrendous by any means. It's kind of nice. It's like a balanced amount of bitterness with that rocky minerality and very incredibly mouth drying. And there's almost like a little bit of fruitiness to it currently, just a slight bit. But I imagine that's just a nice warm up for that first steep. Um, Texture wise, I wouldn't say super thick. It's like moderate. There's some body to it, but I'm definitely gonna do a second steep because I feel like a tea for me opens up fully at like about a second or third steep. All right, we are doing that second steep. Let my water heat back up. We are at boiling. Yeah, that bitterness wasn't on this tea so far on that first steep isn't horrendous. I would say there is bitter there. It's a raw pour. I typically expect some amount of bitterness. That's what this uh, tea type is all about, you know. I'm more surprised when I find one that isn't bitter. Having said that, I think it's very balanced and very fitting in this tea. The minerality, like the very ever so slight amount of sweetness, like very minimal. It's definitely a savory tea by all means, but there is something there. And then there's that aftertaste that kind of snuck up on me, like a little bit of a bitter aftertaste. Messed up a little there. All right. But so far, I'm really digging it. I think these very short steeps are definitely the move. If you are trying to tease out more bitterness, obviously go full hot, longer steeps. I am personally trying to minimize bitterness because I prefer minimal bitterness, frankly. But beautiful golden color on this tea. Almost looks like apple juice. Looks fantastic. Still quite clear. All right, I'm going to try this second steep. Very nice. I will say there is a slight bitterness. If you are a fan of Shang pu'ers and or a fan of bitterness, this is, I'd say, a mild bitterness compared to some of the stronger tasting bitter ones I've had. Crimson Lotus has a few. I've had a few on here. My I think Ling Kang raw pour. The one where I said it was like there's only 15 of this cake, and then the one with like the picture of the lady on the cake. Both those were more bitter than this. This is a mild bitterness, but maybe I'm used to bitter at this point. I don't know. I think it's a very reasonable bitterness. It's nice. It's definitely thickened. Very mouth drying still. Slight astringent. Bit of bitter on the front. Bit of bitter on the aftertaste. Rocky minerality. I would almost describe the texture as kind of reminds me of like a hazy IPA on that texture, like real juicy, real chewy almost. Yeah, it's nice. I definitely like this one. The price is right. If you're real cool with the bitterness, that's your thing. I would definitely recommend this one. Very cheap tea for sure. 195 per 7 gram orb. So that's a steal in my opinion. I think it's great, and I'm likely to buy more. Also, I'm feeling quite energized. Very caffeinated. So there's that too. But I think that's all I have. Be sure to order now if you can, because They got that deal going on. They're giving away a couple freebies, and they got some real high-end oolong on the site that just got posted if you're into that. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment. See ya.